we've got such great apps with CapCut, and I don't find Canva to be that great for editing videos, but it certainly is a tool, and you can get great graphics, and that's great for thumbnails. We just have great apps and tools that allow you to churn out more quickly and more authentically. So I don't think people, if you don't have the capacity to hire somebody to do this stuff, you certainly have the capability.
Hello and welcome to /Real Estate, the podcast for the technology enabled agent. And, I say this every time, but we got a great one for you. It's like, Todd's team, which, obviously Todd's a returning guest, but we've taken a different angle here. So, Courtney, why don't you tell everyone who you are and what you do?
Well, thanks for having me, Chris. I am Courtney Cleveland. I work for the Todd Tramonte home selling team, and I wear a lot of hats.
As you do in those sorts of organizations. Yep.
I like to say that I manage Todd's media. He is all over the place and has lots of channels. We have 3 YouTube channels and a podcast and a radio show. We put on a conference every year and do publish books, and we have a coaching arm where we coach other agents. And so there's just a lot. And then, of course, social media, Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, all the bits. So I am just helping produce and edit and organize all of those pieces.
And that's exactly what we want to drill into today, because I think, there's the ever-present, oh, I should do more social media. I should, build myself into a personality. I should, whatever. But when it comes to the nuts and bolts of, hey, this is exactly how you create the content, I think people just fail there. Like, they have the desire, but they just don't know where to start.
How do you actually do it? Yeah, I think that is really a frustrating piece of it all. Is like, yeah, okay, I see where I'm supposed to be. How do I actually show up in those places?
Okay, well, let's just get right into some of the nuts and bolts. So you listed off like a lot of content that you were producing. I think we want to primarily focus on the social media side of this. And so this is like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, like where are you guys primarily playing right now?
Those 3, and Google Business, I think, is really important.
Do you think of Google Business as like a social media network, or are you doing that more as like the review, like getting a lot of reviews game?
It's obviously not necessarily a networking interactive space beyond the reviews, but posting photos and showing Google that you are active in that, it just helps you come up in searches, which people are just Googling all the time. So I just think if you're going to be posting on Instagram and Facebook, and then add that into your repertoire.
Okay, hang on. I feel like we just stumbled onto a little bit of secret sauce here that I was not expecting. So let's just drill into this here for a second. So what you're saying is you recycle content from your like more social media into the Google My Business Center, or like how exactly does that work?
I think just showing up there daily and putting a photo, adding there's several different ways you can put blogs, it's a pretty extensive little profile, and Google really wants that information and wants activity there, and they're going to reward that. And so if you've made the post anyway, put it there.
Maybe the hot take here is I don't think a lot of people think about, posting, like people are definitely thinking about, I should go ask my successful clients for reviews so I get a lot of reviews. And I know you guys are very on top of that game. I just didn't realize there was the whole other game of syndicating the content from the other networks into the Google Business Center.
Yes, just so there's no confusion. You're not posting, you're not scheduling, and you're not posting through Instagram to this. Like, you're just taking whatever your post is for Instagram or Facebook and recreating like taking that photo or taking that copy and just putting it in the way that Google would like it.
Right. There isn't a tool that's helping you like cross post. And maybe we should get into that. So let's rewind a little bit because we got down this path. So do you start with like a calendar of things that you want to post? Do you have an idea? Like, is that a monthly, weekly? Like, tell me what your process is like kind of at the high level.
There's a way that we're always trying to organize our minds and organize this monster to show up and figure out a plan and make it efficient and batch content. There's just all these strategies, right? And Robert, I have another coworker on my team who manages our graphic design and things like that. And so he is very helpful in keeping us consistent with our bread and butter, which would be like our coming soon posts and uh, review posts. So, like, we kind of have some consistent graphics that just keep us visible. They're not really we're not going to go viral. People probably aren't really going to share them, but they just keep us in people's feed and seeing our results. Um, I think the secret sauce that I bring and where a calendar can help is it keeps you on a path, but I think you have to engage and stay on top of, and you can't schedule authenticity. And what I think we do really well is we invite people in. We're really about relationships and we want people to know us and we want to know our clients.
It sounds more like you are trying to put yourself in a position to capture the like opportunistic posts, not necessarily schedule like what everything's going to be beat by beat. So you're maybe a little bit more like what people think of reality TV as than like scripted TV. Is that a good comparison?
I think that's great. And I think you're
Yeah.
capturing a little bit of my ADHD brain where I'm just kind of all over the place of like, I see what we have to do, but I'm like, but look at this squirrel over here. This would be fun.
Look,
And
we talk to people that are good at things.
oh dear.
You show up, like one of the things that Sean commented about, producer Sean commented as we were getting going. He's like, Courtney is really good at seeing that someone's got like something to say and then like extracting it out of them. So you showed up, you got your camera, which is your cell phone most of the time, right?
Yes.
And you're like, okay, there's an opportunity for a post here. Like, what are you seeing as, the expert social media person looks at like The Office, where everyone else sees like a bunch of people, making dials. What are you seeing?
I know what I like to enjoy on social media and what makes me buy into people's stories and what I love marketing. I really like nerd out when I experience being sold to. Like, I'm like, you legit just did that so well, and I'm buying that. And part of it is entering into the story, knowing that person, and like, I love Chris. What does he have to tell me? And I want to be like him. I want to buy that microphone he's using or like whatever. And so when I am at a conference with agents and I want to hear about their experience or I see the fun that they're having and I want them to share it, I just really try to like get people to feel comfortable. Like it's just me, just talk to me, just tell me about like what you're um doing. Like just remember that at home someone is just on their device and they're just having a moment with you. And I think people can get like shy or nervous or like I don't know what to say. And so I am trying to just circumvent the camera and be like, just talk to me, just tell me like how you're doing. And then I think several takes. And then I love thinking about the edit. And so knowing that you can like clip things together or you can always do a voiceover if you don't feel comfortable like with your face talking. Um and then I love being embarrassed. And I don't want you to take that wrong way, not in a bad way, but, like,
You're maybe okay with a little bit of, it like, putting yourself out there.
yes, I think that that is real, and that's when people can connect to authenticity and trust. And so I think there's a fine line of embarrassment, but I really try to toe that with our team, honestly. If I'm being honest, I think that there's a way that I am trying to capture some humility all the time.
Okay, so how do you get the agents on your team to engage in like producing that content? Because I think it's like it's more than just ambushing them, right? Like you've got to, you pull out your phone and you're like, okay, this is a moment I want to capture. Like, how do you tee them up for that? So that they can start to play that game with you.
Yeah. It's definitely not easy. I think if I'm gonna do like an interview with them, I think getting them warmed up and just asking them questions and trying to capture uh, through a longer conversation, right? Of just talking to them, I'll be able to capture the little bits. That's the great thing about Instagram and Facebook is that we're just trying to make short videos versus some long form situations.
If you were advising someone that wants to create the same kind of content that you create, but it's just them, they're both you and the person in front of the camera, how would you walk them through like creating those first couple of posts?
Okay, I think an important way to approach social media is to ask yourself, how do I want to show up?
Oh yeah.
Approach it with some buckets of things that you're only gonna like, these are the only things I'm gonna discuss. So within real estate, right? You could decide that you are gonna share how you live in your own home and you're going to give advice and you are going to share your morning cup of coffee. Those are just some examples, but they just give you that way you don't have to go through the day and be like, "Ugh, should I share that? Oh, should I have videoed it?" It's like, no, if you're not talking about advice about how to buy a home, showing me your own home, and showing me your coffee or a coffee shop that you went to, then you don't need to worry about what you're filming. And then you can really hone in on um, how you show up in that space. And so there's all different, we can get more creative around each little bucket with specifics like carousels and reels and voiceovers and whatever.
The way that I've described this in the past is like being strategic with when you have your existential crisis, right? So what you want to do is you want to have that crisis once and then decide, you know what? My profile is about X, Y, and Z. And then that way, by sticking to that plan, you don't have to have it every time you're thinking about posting. Because that every time you think about posting, you're always going to have like, you might have a common answer, but it's also going to be a little bit different. And that's the kind of profile that is like, sort of your generic user that's just kind of like live blogging their life puts out there, not someone that's trying to like convince people that they're great at, selling houses.
I think it helps organize. It's an exhausting place that can really burn you out and it can churn your wheels too much on something that uh, doesn't matter that much. I think it's important to show up to this space and to be creative and to show people who you are. But it can feel like, does this even move the needle? Does this even matter? And I think just put it in its rightful place and engage with it and give it an amount of tension, an amount of attention, but don't let it consume you. Have an existential crisis. Be like, burn you out. It's not that important. It's just important.
Well, I think maybe this relates back to the first question that I asked you, which is like, how do you do this on a calendar? And your answer was like, no, I don't. I'm a little bit more opportunistic. But your answer is also not, it's all chaos all the time. It's, I know I'm going to be posting about these things. And so when I'm doing those things, it's the opportunity to capture the assets.
Exactly, exactly, and so it's I think spending some time to make a general calendar, to make a path for yourself, and I think it's important to engage with the platforms so you can see how people are using it, what they are saying, get ideas, be inspired, and discover how you personally wanna show up in that space. Like, you do need to take some time to learn that because it can be awkward to show up in a way that we're not encountering the app. Do you see like too professionally or too produced? Like that's not its purpose. And so if you don't understand it, then we're like, what are you doing here? You know?
You also mentioned like, okay, how can I, basically like intersect with the things that I talk about with the kind of trends on social media. So how are you like watching the quote trends so that you can, I guess, capitalize on those? And are those, and I'll ask another question as you're answering that, is like, are those trends as in like, oh, it's this particular hashtag I need to post on because it's quote trending? Or is it like, no, 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 people are doing this style of post and I've noticed that. And so I want to follow.
Yes, I think it's a style of post. I think trending audio is very helpful. Um, and so I try to put my own spin on it in that way. Uh, Also, I can't these guys are not gonna do dances for me, so it's
I
not
would like to see you
I
accomplish
know,
that.
gosh.
Can we get that on a 2026 goal?
If I could get Todd Tramonte to do a dance, I mean, I've gotten them to skip, that fun skipping trend, so sometimes their game, I think, like, funny trivia things. I did the 2016 trend. I think it's just kind of uh watching trends that might match or go well with or put our own spin on it. You know what I mean? But I think you have to be self-aware. And again, back to our point of just knowing what feels true to you and how you want to authentically show up. A lot of agents have built huge platforms doing, uh, tongue in cheek, innuendos, and just having just funny ways in which they give you a tour around a house or so um, I think showing how you wanna show up in the community, what your business brings, depends on how you interact with the trends, and that is my point of, like, spending time on the platform, and just scrolling and consuming it so that you can filter what you use.
Maybe one of the takeaways there is like, okay, if you're the like serious button up professional, something like that, and then you're like, well, yeah, but that like super sarcastic home tour, uh, is really getting a lot of views. Jumping over to that is not probably going to land for you because it's going to be really out of place on your account, or like posting a rando, TikTok dance, is not going to land because it's like way out of character.
And again, your whatever your goals are on these platforms, going viral does not commute compute to sales necessarily. You wanna be getting the right views, and that doesn't
Oh,
necessarily match.
I think this is a critical point for people to understand, which is all views are not equal. And I mean, we've certainly experienced that on our YouTube page, where we'll have a clip that will get you know an order of magnitude more views, but those are not real estate agents watching those. Those are general population watching those, and so it really doesn't do anything for us. We're like happier with the sort of like normal performing posts. But yeah, maybe you can give your opinion on like, okay, yeah, I wanna do stuff that's cool, but I'm not trying to go viral. Like, what's your perspective on this?
It's taken, like, a long time to accept and maybe understand the way these platforms work. And I think in the beginning that the numbers and the likes and the dopamine hit of all of that felt really important and valuable. And I just give like the weight of all that is kind of gone for me. I mean, I you want exposure, you want eyeballs, but understanding what eyeballs are seeing this just helps. Like,
Well, let me ask you this. Like, who's your target audience?
well, right, we specialize in desirable neighborhoods and homes on land. And so we're really trying to in the DFW area. And so a big target for us is we're trying to capture people who love um family and big backyards and are wanting to upgrade their home and enjoy gardening and orchard life and have a pool and be outside and host and um so we're really trying to thread a needle, I think. And so I mean, that's something we targeting through ads on Facebook and building a specific YouTube channel and just trying a lot of reps of talking about all the things that a big backyard encompasses and having a home on an acre to 10 acres. We're not talking about ranch and farm life, but like just having some space to live and host and breathe. So, I think that helps too is having a really specific person that you're looking for, and then when you get these reps and you think about them when you make content, I mean, that algorithm is gonna work for you. So as annoying as it is in our personal lives, it's really great from a business aspect.
When you think about hitting that mark of, this we nailed our target audience, like that piece of content really resonated. What what were you most proud of last year that you produced?
Um, we surprisingly have found this community that is loving seeing Todd's orchard through the years. And so we film it every season as the seasons turn. And that has been really surprising and been a really fun lane to find. People are engaging with our videos about his orchard. They want to know about the trees that he's planting. It's fun to watch an apple tree come and go and a new pear be planted and how'd the figs do this year. And, we're headed into the third year of his orchard. And so I think that has just been, and what's sweet about that is everything that Todd, a core value of just helping families find their home where they can love and serve their family and other people like he this has been a decades-long dream for him that started when he ate an apple off of the neighbor of his grandfather, in his yard, and he thought, "I want people to eat apples off of trees at my home." And so it's just been this long journey of him and Dana flipping homes and trying to find their home on land. They found it, and then building their dream home there. And so to be able to film videos about his orchard at 40 years old, like, it's just such a dream come true, and I think that and then for that to resonate with people, and then in his I just think like, that's how specific we're getting with a niche and with what he is wanting to share about his vision and his dream in this business and wanting to help other agents and coach other agents to find their specific lane in the state that they're in.
That was an awesome explanation of like a super authentic post. I mean, if you think about it, it like squarely aligns with both who Todd is and what the product he's trying to deliver and the people that
He's trying to find.
yeah, exactly what they want to find, what they want to consume. Yeah, so that is a great that's awesome. let's get a little bit into the nuts and bolts of like how you actually like produce these. Are you like going out to the orchard? Is he producing like filming stuff and then just sending it to you, or like you out there like doing stuff? Like how do you go about like creating that, like the sort of orchard content?
I'm out there filming it. And I'll be honest, when I took the job, I told Todd, listen, you get me a fancy iPhone and I can rock this job for you. Where I and that's really what I want people to know. I think all the camera equipment is fun and amazing, but for me, it just slows me down. The learning the technicalities and getting these great shots, like I just don't have the capacity. I'm not a film crew. I just want to capture the stuff, get it back, get it uploaded, and edit that biz. We've got such great apps with CapCut, and I don't find Canva to be that great for editing videos, but it certainly is a tool, and you can get great graphics, and that's great for thumbnails. We just have great apps and tools that allow you to churn out more quickly and more authentically. So I don't think people, if you don't have the capacity to hire somebody to do this stuff, you certainly have the capability. So I am, and what I love about the iPhone 2 is the stabilizer of the camera. When I've tried to use fancy stuff, oh, you got to hold the bar, and like I just that all just slows me down. So my iPhone is my guy. I we got a great mic, just a good little Rodecaster lapel. So that's a game changer. And and then I think remembering to capture B-roll, which is just footage that you can put over or under some audio so that you can add in extra clips and things. And and then we try to go in with a good title. The great thing about Todd is he is good at riffing and he knows his orchard, and any video we make, he's got the script inside. So that might not work for everyone, but with the guy I'm producing, he's got the script. So I just need a title and I need a place, and he's going to show up for me.
Let's kind of walk this through step by step. So you show up, iPhone in hand, which, by the way, we 100,000%, million% agree with you that, like, yeah, unless you're wanting to go full cinema crew, like the iPhone is where it's at. It's got everything you need, and audio super important. So like getting a Rode, whatever, the thing that clips on, and then it's the one that's like plugs into the USB port or the Lightning port on the bottom of the phone, right? It's wireless.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, exactly. Get that one. DJI has a good one too. Okay. So you do that. You show up. You're at Todd's place, and you're like, okay, we want to talk about blank, and then what? You brainstorm the title real fast.
We'll batch 4 videos for the month. And so we try to go into it and we're like, okay, what do we want? How do we want to show up in January? Also with these, so I'm going to do a seasonal orchard video. We're going to talk about what to plant in the winter. And he's very passionate about fruit trees, and what specifically grows in North Texas and things like that. So it's like, we'll do a tour of the orchard. That's separate. And then we'll make another video where he talks specifically about what trees to plant, whatever. And then we'll move to a different area of the yard and talk about how to prep your yard for the winter. And then we'll move to another area and we'll talk about how to enjoy your yard in the winter. And so he has all these like recommendations around toys and things. And then throughout these videos, he's pausing and doing a call to action to say, hey, if you or someone is looking to upgrade your home, or wants a home on land like this is what we do, and our information is around here. We'd love to help you find your place.
So you've got your iPhone, you got the audio, you've got the title, you got the location. You're gonna batch, so you're gonna do like 4 videos. Todd knows, I think this is an important thing for people to note, that they're trying to do this. Call to action is always important. So it sounds like he shoots multiple calls to action that then you cut in other places, right?
Yes, or as he's talking, I will remind him from behind the camera. Take a break and, remind people why they're here and what they're doing. You want to do that at the front, you want to do that in the middle, and you want to do that at the end. And everything that people need to be told how to respond to you. And so whenever you're making videos, you want to stop and say, like and subscribe, share this, call me. This is what I do. This is why you're watching this. This is why I'm helping you. Download this, send me your email, like whatever it is. Remember to plug those things in. And I remembered what I was going to say is that while we're making these videos, I'm also looking for how I'm going to cut what we're making into a short. So I'm making a long video that I can pull and post on the podcast, the audio, that I can clip and make into 30-second shorts on YouTube, reels on Instagram, posts on Facebook. I'm putting those in stories. I'm putting them on Google My Business. I'm putting them everywhere. And I'm making a newsletter to send out to remind people where we are and what we're doing. And I'm making downloads for like him to do a call to action so that I can get their email.
So you're just trying to get the most leverage out of every time you have the camera out.
Squeeze all the juice.
Okay, let's cover one more thing, and then I want to get into the apps and the editing. So B-roll, that was another thing that you mentioned, and I feel like this is a secret sauce that amateurs don't know about, but as soon as you start editing, you realize that you need to do. What is B-roll?
It's stock footage but footage of what you're talking about. So while B-roll would be right now I'm talking to you and the camera would cut away and show a video of an iPhone and show the microphone I'm talking about and show maybe a pan of our office.
This is a podcast format, but let's say that this was more of a like documentary format. Like as we're talking about Todd's orchard, it would cut away from us. Our voice would continue, and then there would be like panning shots of the orchard. Basically, while you're filming Todd, occasionally you're just like, okay, hang on, need to get some like establishing shots. I need to like paint the picture of like where we are and what we're doing, or the close up of the thing he's talking about, or that kind of stuff, right?
We'll do his whole conversation, and then after I will go and get those shots. Just kind of, I'm making mental note of like getting a close up of that tree, scanning this area, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, you can get subscriptions. So like Envato would be a great resource where you pay monthly and then you have the license to all this B-roll footage for audio, for video, for graphics, because you want to be careful too. It can be a pretty exhausting component of a video, and you want to have, so that's a way to quickly get it, but have the license for those shots.
I want to give people some like very actionable stuff here, because I feel like we're now painting the picture of exactly how to create this post and how to recycle it. I think the missing piece here is CapCut, and I want to talk about that. But to jump to the end of the story, like anyone listening to this, like just go download CapCut right now, and you're going to need to play with it. Because I think the only way to really understand everything that Courtney's saying right now is to try and produce the content yourself. So anyway, Courtney, CapCut, what is it?
CapCut is just a very user-friendly video editing tool. And I think a way to, like, please watch a YouTube video on editing. There's just so many beginner videos that can just show you simply how to cut a clip and how to overlay audio. And so, don't start thinking, oh, how to do graphics and all these different, there's just, very simple ways that you can upgrade your
Are
video.
you editing on a desktop machine or laptop, or are you editing on the phone?
I'm much more quick on my phone, but I do both, certainly.
What's that dividing line between phone versus
Yeah.
you know, sort of grown up machine?
A long form video I'm gonna wanna do on my computer, and then, uh, I also prefer editing on my phone because all the clips are there, and I can just quickly upload them into the app and, click them together, and I think the more, I just have I've been editing videos since high school, so I just have just a deep understanding of how I wanna, orchestrate something, and so and I also think I have a really good this is what I tell my daughter, she loves to make videos and stuff, and I always tell her, "When you're watching the clip back, you know instantly," like, you think, "Oh, I'll leave that up for 5 seconds," but you have that gut feeling when you're watching it where, like, "I'm ready for that frame to change," and so and and you may like your video, you need to cut and trim half of it. So, just getting that bulk, moving it along, saying quickly what you want to say to the consumer because you have 3 seconds to say it and to capture it. So don't think like this beautiful intro. Don't waste your time with titles and a jingle. Get to it. Tell me what you want me to know.
Social media is such good training for being concise because you have no time. All right, Courtney. So if someone wants to do this themselves, where do they start?
I think the perfect intro place is figuring out how do I grab the trending audio off of Instagram and put it over me walking into this house, about to do an open house I'm excited about. You don't even need to say anything. But how do I set my camera up and film me walking into a house? And how do I get the trending audio over it?
So it's a very discrete task. It's like a very simple byproduct, but the first time you do it, it's going to be a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, it may be overwhelming, but I think you will feel so empowered when you see how easy it can be. But I can understand that that would feel like Mount Everest. Okay, but like I say to my daughter all the time, when something feels overwhelming, how do we scoot it down and make it smaller? How do you make it something you can accomplish? And it's as simple as I know that I can set my phone up and lean it against that door or whatever. It's going to film my feet. I don't know. Just get a shot. You know how to turn on your video and press play and walk away and walk into the door. All right. So now you're going to take that video, but you need to clip the part where you're setting your phone down or don't. That can be endearing and super cute and a part of your style. But if you want to learn, you're going to need to figure out how to clip that. And then what's the trending audio? What song do you want? When I say trending audio, I mean finding Instagram will tell you these are the songs that everyone is using, and the algorithm likes it and is going to put it in the feed. So, how do I put my video and then I'm going to hit that note, that music note sign, and it's going to say songs and it'll say trending at the top. And you're just going to add that over your video. That can feel very overwhelming. So just take it each step at a time. And also, I promise you have a friend who will show you how to do it.
Okay. One of the things that I feel like people have gotten wrapped up in since the beginning of social media is the use of hashtags. And I feel like depending on who you talk to, it's either a thing or it's not a thing, or sometimes it's 64,000 of them and sometimes it's 3. Like where do you like put this argument to bed? Where are you at on hashtags?
I never use them. I think at one time they were such a useful tool to consolidate, almost like you were putting your different posts in a playlist. I don't even think the generation under us knows what a hashtag is. Like, I don't what are you even talking about? What are you doing? Like, I think people I I don't know. I'm so sick of just the coming and going of all the bits and the way that we get played and how something can help you show up better and like whatever. I don't have the bandwidth for it. I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to keep creating content. And the most important thing is to be consistent
Yeah. Yeah. Create awesome content consistently and don't worry about the
and
rest.
engage with other
Yeah.
people's things. Comment.
Oh, this is a great tip. Okay. So tell us about that.
Well, I think the more that you are showing up in, uh, other people's posts, you think about how it feels to get a comment. It takes 2 seconds to just, tell people that you got something out of it or you really liked it or you support them or, thanks for sharing. And people will do that for you in return and they'll follow you back or they'll be like, gosh, Courtney's always saying like something nice about my stuff. I just think that is where it really matters.
Okay. So do you go so far as to like time block out like some doom scrolling and then you're going to comment, or do you just like know that as you're, scrolling through Instagram, like when you see a post you like, you're going to hit that like button and you're going to go leave a comment just because it's, both the right thing for you and a great thing for them.
Sweet Chris, I don't have to schedule time for doom scrolling. This is just a part of my life. Yeah, and it's something that I am constantly having to remind Todd to do because I can appreciate when you are running a business and you have a family, you don't have the capacity for all of this. And it certainly is a privilege to hire someone and have someone on your team to manage these things for you. I think it is just absolutely vital that people know that you are managing your social media account and that you show up to it and engage with it. It is a part of our fabric, and I think you can have boundaries with it. And I think it can help you know who you are and know your values and have boundaries. But I think it's an important part of your business. And I really try to encourage our agents to interact. And that's really challenging.
Awesome. Courtney, where can people find you?
You can find us at Todd Tramonte Realtors on Facebook and Instagram. I personally am at Best Day Court. I'm trying to find the best day in every city. It's been a long time goal of mine, but and we do this for our coaching clients. We have a coaching arm called Regs here on that is a part of what we do. As we are helping people build their businesses, we're also coaching them on all the aspects of their business. And so when you are a part of our mastermind, you have access to me, access to our studio, access to the tools that we use and how we create things. And we want to help you create those things for your business too.
That's awesome. All right, Courtney, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Everyone, if you got questions, obviously she just told you where you can find her. So you can go ask her the questions. Otherwise, leave the comments down below. I'm sure both us and her will be down there. So hit us up with your questions and give us a like and a subscribe. Why not? I'll catch you later. Thanks, Courtney.